Play on Friday.
Woo!
Yeah.
How many games you catching?
I get to see 2. I'm praying to God that I get to see Duke. That would be fucking wild. I'm mainly going to see Duke, but if Duke wins on Thursday, they play Friday, and it would be against Duke, and that would be a fucking vibe.
Hey, Corey.
Bro, I bought tickets. I'm sitting in section 106, right? So I'm not on the main level, but I'm in a tier level, which is in the middle. I'm sitting row 4, aisle levels, $220 a ticket. I'm basically on the court. It's kind of wild.
Wow.
It's fucking phenomenal.
That's lit, bro.
My dad's a big Duke fan. To go see Coach K one more time would be pretty fucking cool. So hopefully it all works out.
That's lit, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right.
So Hughes has to beat Florida State. If Hughes beats Florida State,
it seems doable. Post Moto in here with the I don't know what the name of that emote is, but Pepe Jam Jam, I think. Know what that is? I think so.
Jam. Yeah. Pepe Jam Jam.
That's pretty good.
The music was going. I gotta dance. Hello.
Yeah, bro. Oh, jammies too. I told you we were on and the music was rolling. You over here worried about your tickets.
That's it. I'll tell you, I'm just I'm excited. Super excited for that.
Uh-oh. Depot DJ and Doge Dance.
Oh, shit.
Just out here with all of it. All of it's live.
R.I.P. Doge.
Yeah, true.
Thank God I wasn't picking my nose or something during that. That would have been terrible.
No. I would have hit you with the shit. Any gamblers in the chat?
Jesus.
I mean, what are we getting at here? What before we even get started, we're over here asking if we have any gamblers. I love to gamble.
I mean, listen.
Oh no, Calvin isn't here. Oh no.
Wow.
Poggers emote.
You know, it's so painful too. Yeah, it's so painful. The amount of money he gambled, it's the fuck
for a full year suspension, he fucking bet $1,500 in total. Come on, bro. I can bet. I mean, I can't. I shouldn't.
Hit him with the come on, man. That's it.
Oh my God. Herm Edwards, don't press send. What are you doing? Come on. I don't have, and then he's snarky on Twitter, he's the victim. He was like, I bet 1,500 total. I do not have a gambling problem. I'm just gonna be more healthy for next year. Don't be an asshole because you got caught being a dumbass. I don't know, man.
Yo, imagine betting 1,500 but losing millions of dollars last year.
I mean, come on, right?
Or this year coming, I should say. I mean,
I don't know, man. It's just dumb, if you ask me. Just dumb.
That just goes to show there are not a lot of people in the NFL that have working brain cells, whether it's because of getting hit in the head too much or just that you're just don't know what to do with your money.
I was listening to Chris Candy today, and it's he was like, if you really got to bet that bad, right? If you really have to bet on your own sport that bad, what's wrong with having your significant other or your brother do it for you?
Right.
Perfectly legal.
You gotta do it.
Perfectly legal for somebody else to have their name on it and put the bets in. But the minute your name, Calvin Ridley, is on the docket, you immediately are in trouble for it. And NFL is in bed with DraftKings and FanDuel and all these betting sites. You think they can't figure out if you're putting bets in, brother? What are you doing?
Dude, every day and every time, whether it's a commercial, whether it's a lead up to a game, whether you're listening to it on the radio stations are sponsored by FanDuel, by DraftKings, because it's just a moneymaker. But you can't hide from that.
Take care of your mentals.
Can we slide? No, we're not going to slide, but I'm going to pivot really quick. A man was held out of the Hall of Fame in baseball for betting. Let's be real. That's
still not there.
That's before any of this was accessible via your fingertips. You had to go to a bookie for that shit.
Yep.
Come on, dude. He sports bet in a bar that was the only bar in the state of Florida at the time, and apparently you can't bet in Florida. So I don't understand how that happened.
I don't know. Can't bet in Delaware either.
Suspect.
He bet on his team to win too. Beats the goat. Take care of your chickens. Take care of your mentals. Little Marshawn Lynch quote there.
That's it, dude. That's it.
This is episode 7, by the way.
It is. Lucky 7.
We have had more than, I want to say, 10 hours of sports conversation over the last 7 weeks. That's a pretty fair number, right?
Yeah. We've gone over the hour and a half mark. Sometimes it's 2.
This
I'll tell you
says,
what, like I said, I mean, this one probably won't be as long. It'll be a great lead up because, next week, dude, it's just going to be firing on all cylinders. You're going to see who's playing who. You're going to know the times. You're going to know the projections. You're going to know who to look for, who to watch, when to watch. And, like, I don't know about you, but I have
I'm
3
feeling
screens.
22.
Yeah, for real. I have 3 screens, and like before I had the computer, I would watch on my phone, and like my phone isn't that big, but the NCAA has their own app where you can watch all the games at once, and like,
and it's free with a subscription to a service. That's all you need.
Exactly. It's gonna be fucking dope, and I'm so excited for March Madness. That being said, would you like to let the people know what we got going on?
Absolutely. We have. Not sponsored, by the way, but could be sponsored eventually one day where we don't have to pay for these things. Brackets. The Bracket Buster Challenge. We have a Yahoo bracket open. It's in the Discord. Join the Discord. !Discord if you have not already joined. And get yourself in. If you're on the YouTube stream, just in my description is the Discord link. You guys go in. It's underneath the bracket pick, or I don't know what I named it. Some shit like that. I can't look right now because you're my Discord, so I can't change that screen. So whatever it is, that is where it's at. It's all the way at the bottom. Join. $10 a bracket. And there's no minimum. You could do a maximum of 4. So a total of $40 can be put in by one person. And the more people we get, the bigger the payout's going to be. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Once the bracket has been spit out, which will be by Sunday evening, we will have a better idea of who's where, what the numbers are, seedings, all that good stuff, matchups, and on the YouTube stream. Hi, Dad. Is that me? Hi, Dad.
Oh my God, Jesus, yeah.
Daddy, chill. And then once you guys see your bracket, you'll have a couple days to fill out your bracket and get in whatever you want to get in. And by Wednesday or Thursday, I think, is when the first 4 play. And I think by Friday is when it's either Thursday or Friday. I have it written down. The last one is when the first round officially starts. And when that starts, you can no longer get picks in after that. But you don't have to pick the first 4 unless you plan on having them advance past the first. So,
right. Yeah, exactly. You can wait until the play-in games. So there's actually 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4. No, there's 6 play. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 4.
Should be 8.
There's 8 teams. Yeah, 8 teams.
8
4
teams,
playing games.
4 games.
Yeah. 4 games. Yeah, and those games get trickled depending on who plays who throughout each conference, whether it's the West, the East, the South, or the Midwest.
Right. They'll have those spots predetermined for, like on Selection Sunday, they'll have those spots predetermined for whoever goes where. So it's not like if this one wins, they'll go here. Or if this one, like it's
so
2 teams will fit in the Midwest, XYZ,
right. Depending on what team is where, you're either going to have a 16 seed or a 12 seed.
Okay, so it's not 11 this year.
That's how it works. No.
Last year there was 11, or not last year. There was no tournament last year, but there was 11s one year.
Yeah, so it's 16 and 12.
Okay.
Is what we're looking at right now.
Well, 5s are always a big upset. Interesting how they've chosen 11-6 is not usually that big, but 12-5
I'm going to tell you something right now. As the way it stands right now, 2 teams catch my eye. One being Rutgers. They're in play-in.
Interesting, right?
The other one is Xavier to play in the play-in.
Xavier, I mean, not for a few years, but they are always sneaky players in the tournament. Always. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have not. I'm going to be honest. This is one of my worst years in following college basketball, and I think the reason is because there has been. Well, first of all, my team is not very very good this year. It makes it very hard to follow the whole thing when your team is not very good. Right. I'm a Syracuse fan. They're in the toilet. Their only hope is to somehow pull out a miracle in the ACC tournament and make it to the dance that way. They're not getting a bid any other way unless it's the automatic tournament bid. Yes, exactly. Which is interesting that I bring that up because you have some information about that. Would you like to share?
So the ACC tournament will be starting Thursday, I believe. It is actually being hosted at the Barclay, and I will be attending Friday's festivities.
Picture didn't happen.
I mean, listen, like I don't know who's going to be playing, my hope is that Duke will be playing Friday. That would be one of the games, and then I don't know what the second game would be. But Duke has an opportunity too, if it all pans out, to play Syracuse. They'd have to win against Florida State, and I think they have to win against somebody else. I'm not sure exactly, but actually, let me look for you right now. Hold on, ACC.
I got that. You can talk about how excited you are.
Okay, I'm fucking amped, dude. Like I tell you what, right now, like obviously, the other night, Coach K loses final home game to North Carolina, big rival, and like everybody was like hooting and hollering, and like this man was like has a mic in the middle of the floor and was like telling everybody to be quiet, like stop, like it's unacceptable. So yeah, so Cuse plays Florida State Wednesday.
Yeah,
Cuse has to win Wednesday to play Friday.
I'm blown away, by the way, that I'm looking at. Hold on, where did it go? I'm looking at the fact that Syracuse is an 8 seed or a 9 seed.
It's the ACC though. It's only ACC.
But okay, there's still 6 teams.
Yeah.
Behind them. I need to look at the ACC standings right now because
they're not good. They're really not good.
Because Syracuse had a terrible year.
Yeah, it's really not good no matter how you look at it. And they had a very crushing loss.
I mean, Syracuse was 15-16.
Yeah.
But they've lost their last 4. But because they had a 9-11 record in the conference, they stay above Clemson, who's 8-12 in the conference. I mean, there's teams who in the past have been really good. I mean, Clemson, Louisville, Boston College, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, NC State. So, like, out of those groups of teams right there, I look at Georgia Tech and Boston College as the teams that haven't been as good as recent. But Clemson and Louisville were like top 4 seeds 2 years ago. And NC State's always usually decent. And Pittsburgh, they have been not so great the last couple of years, but very surprising when I look at that, honestly. I really am surprised.
Do you want to know how bad the Big East is real quick?
No, because that makes me sad that the what do you call it, left the Big East. That Syracuse left the Big East.
Well, Syracuse left the Big East, but Georgetown's ranked 11 in the Big East, and they're fucking worse than Syracuse, to be honest with you.
Georgetown is 0-19 in the conference, 6-24 overall. That's bad.
They're bad.
I mean, so a few things with the tournament. Well, first of all, we brought up Duke, and Coach K loses.
So they're actually going to slide. They're going to slide.
Yeah.
They're 2 now. They're going to slide to 3 most likely.
Yeah.
So their ACC, their March Madness seeding placement will be different. They were supposed to play on the lower end of their conference in like their bracket, but they're going to get probably like slide to the middle.
Yeah.
Which is not a good road for them to be playing in.
I mean,
they kind of had the easy streak being 2. Obviously, the higher you are, the easier your road would be, and essentially. But you see upsets all the time.
Of course. Well, the tournament, these conference tournaments, when you have these big conferences, the ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-12, all these conferences, literally anybody can win. It's insane. It's one game. They go on to the next round, one game. Usually the best teams win, but we have seen countless times these teams get automatic bids that are like the 7th or the 8th best team in the conference. They win the tournament because they get hot. And what that really ends up doing is it hurts the seeding for the teams that were going to get the bids just for having good years. So in my opinion, I think Duke is obviously, they're one of the best teams in the ACC. They're one of the best teams in the country, despite my feelings for them. They, I think, were a lock for a 2 seed had they won against UNC and they played well in the conference tournament. But if they don't win the conference tournament, I could see them being a 3 or a 4 seed at this point. If they win the tournament, I think they could be the 2 seed, though. I think they'll pull a 2 seed out.
Here's how this actually works. I'm sorry. So
you know how things work.
I didn't know, but now I know. So like I'm going to Friday's game. Okay, so that is this Friday, which is the 11th. Syracuse plays Florida State Wednesday.
Yep.
At noon. They actually play They play that afternoon.
Yeah.
The winner of that will then play Duke Thursday at noon.
Yep.
So Duke would then move on to Friday's game.
They have to win And they're not going to be playing Syracuse on Friday because if they win,
They will not be. Yeah,
they
will be playing the winner
Syracuse
of
Wednesday if
Miami.
Syracuse wins.
It would either be Miami, Wake Forest, or Pittsburgh Boston College. One of those 4 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I would love to see a fucking Duke Wake.
Duke Wake, Duke Miami. Duke Miami's been pretty decent this year.
Miami
Nothing
just fucking came back
good.
and beat Cuse on senior day. They were down 11 and they came back. Joe Girard.
That would be interesting.
That'd be fun.
You should have a relatively nice slate of games on Friday. You're going to the semifinals. You're going to watch 2 great games. I would expect to see at least 2 or 3 of those top 4 seeds making it.
Could be. I could also see Notre Dame play North Carolina.
That you could see.
Pretty cool.
You could see Notre Dame, Carolina, and you could definitely see Duke, Miami. I mean, you could see all 4 top seeds. Cool. But either way, the ACC tournament should be interesting. The ACC tournament should be fun for you to go to.
But it's at the Barclay, so that's actually pretty cool.
Barclays Center is really nice. I've been there. I've been there once before. I watched Nets playoff game there a few years ago. It was good. Nice place. Better that you have seats that are lower to the ground though, because that top level is like a death trap up there.
It's up there.
It's up there, and there's no like railing.
I'm changing light bulbs and shit.
Yeah, dude. There's like no railing in between like the thing in front of you. You feel like you're gonna fall over and sit on the guy's lap in front of you. But
shit. Okay.
Either way, it should be a good time. I don't have a lot of information on who I think is good. I'm gonna do a lot of research this week. And obviously once the selections come out, I'll be doing my research on Monday as well to see who I like and things like that. The one thing I do know that I heard and I saw on Bleacher Report is Loyola Chicago has booked their ticket to the dance, and Sister Jean is dancing again. That I do know. Yep. And I am taking them in the first round. Whoever they're playing, I don't care. They're going to win the first round at minimum. Promise.
Yeah.
That's my pick. One pick I know for sure.
The dark horse for you.
One game, first round, definitely going to win. Loyola, Chicago, and Sister Jean. So there's never been anything more sure on my mind.
What I'm looking at too, like this is all going to shake up differently as far as like the seedings. Apparently, though, like the number 1 seeds are pretty much a lock, which I don't necessarily agree with. But there's one I really don't agree with. So as of right now, the way it stands, you have Arizona, which I think was a great team all year. They deserve a number 1. Baylor, again, great team all year. They deserve a number 1. Kansas has had its ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. But I cannot stand Gonzaga being a number 1 seed. I can't. They play in a dog shit conference, and they fucking blow everybody away because whatever, they have the talent, people want to go there, whatever it is. But like, if they were to switch conferences, they wouldn't even fucking hang with anybody, and yet they play in the conference that they play in, and they get an automatic 1. Like, that's just, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I think Gonzaga, they've been doing it for so long that's why they get that benefit. If this was like their first or second year where they're having a good year, they wouldn't be a 1 seed. But outside of a handful of seasons, the last, I want to say close to 10 to 15 years, they've had some pretty dominant teams. And, you know, they're 24-3 right now. They've lost 1 time in their conference. Yes, their conference isn't that good, but it's hard to not give them
I mean, so like the only team that's ranked within their conference is St. Mary's, and they're 17. But you have Santa Clara, San Francisco, BYU, Portland, San Diego, Pacific, Loyola Marymount, and Pepperdine. Pepperdine's 1-15.
Dude, Pepperdine's great. Dude, stop. They're good.
Oh my god, dude. You're fucking out of control. Holy fuck.
Out of curiosity, I'm just running through Gonzaga's schedule to see if they played anybody of substance.
They did. No, they have.
So that's why. So this is what Gonzaga has done over the last couple of years. They put big games on their schedule for this reason. This way they can say, hey, we don't just have a dog shit conference. Like, yeah, they don't have a good conference, but they also play these really good teams. They played Texas, who was ranked 5th at the time, and they beat them.
Yeah.
They beat you at UCLA, who was second at the time.
Second, but I don't think UCLA was a true 2.
No, but it was early. I mean, I don't even know if they're still ranked. Honestly,
they lost to Duke, who was a 5, then became a 2, and now probably going to go to 3. They lost to a great Bama team who was ranked 16 at the time and has climbed the polls since.
Yeah, and listen, Alabama had a good start. They've faltered a little bit down the stretch, but
that's really it, though, if you think about it, because then they played Texas Tech, who was ranked 25th, and they beat them, and they kind of blew them out. Texas Tech's not a good team. And then they lost within their conference to St. Mary's, who was 23rd at the time, too. And it was a 10-point loss.
That was their last game they played.
Yeah, besides that, they haven't... I don't know.
Isn't it nuts how they haven't played a game since February 26th?
If, Syracuse was in this conference, you would be talking way different. They don't play anybody.
This is the story every year. This is what goes on. They've been doing it for years.
I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that I don't like it. I don't like that they're a 1.
I think Pepperdine needs to get their due.
Yeah, they made it to the dance once. They made it they did, and they didn't go very far though.
I like the Arizona pick. I like Auburn. They were hot
I do like Auburn
for a long time with Bruce Pearl. They've struggled a little bit down the stretch. They were 19-0, I think, at one point, or something like that.
Yeah. And
they've gone 8-4 since. But I mean, still, I think that those 3 teams are lock solid. I think for those 1 seeds, especially if they play well in their conference tournament, I think they should do that. Baylor, Kentucky, Kansas, Duke. Duke, like I said, if Duke wins the ACC tournament, they could be a sneaky 1 seed.
No, they will not be a 1. They'll be the 2 at best. They won't be.
You think so? I don't know if they win the tournament.
Yeah. No, Baylor will 100% be the 1 in that bracket side.
If they don't win their tournament,
I still think even if Duke wins the tournament, they're going to be a 2. I still think Baylor's a 1.
I guess that remains to be seen. Well, I mean, with Auburn, if Kentucky wins the tournament, that would knock Auburn out, I would think.
Tell you something right now too. If Michigan State stays below like 8, 9, whatever, they're good. If they move up between 8 or 7 and forward, they're gonna get bounced first round. So they have to stay within the 8+ range, 100%.
I know we have to jump into the next thing, but I'm looking through here at these different teams, and I think some sneaky teams that could cause some trouble. A team like Houston, who was second, I think, at one point. Iowa was up there. I know Purdue is also very good. UNC, if they get hot, Hubert Davis, I know you're not a fan, but he coached very well against Duke.
They got a kid that goes to Stepanak there. A kid that went to Stepanak goes to UNC. Kid that went to Stepanak too goes to Duke.
So I think that could be interesting. Notre Dame, I don't think they got what it takes, but you got some. Listen, the tournament's got some hitters. There's gonna be a couple teams that are low, and they're gonna make some noise. You said Memphis. You keep saying Memphis.
I'm telling you, Memphis. I'm telling you.
We'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. I would love to get myself in Iona, by the way. I'd love to get my hands on the tournament bracket and really put it together. So
I'm really excited.
More next week on that for sure.
Sunday for sure. Yes, sir.
So I'm excited for that.
Pivot to our deadlock.
Do you really want to pivot to that? Do you really want to pivot to that?
I mean, I don't really want to, but we have to touch it. We have to poke it with a stick
real
quick because it's pretty shitty.
From what I'm looking at, we have a lot of information here in front of us. It looks like we're close, but we're not. And the reason we're not close is because the things that they're not agreeing on, they are not even close to agreeing on. You wrote today is day 96 of the lockout. Nothing new is scheduled. I think that tomorrow we're going to get an announcement from Rom Scabfred that they're going to cancel another week of games. That cancels Yankees opening weekend at the stadium. Red Sox Yankees
Boston series.
Red Sox Yankees going to be canceled. People are going to be. You think people are mad about the first weekend being canceled? Uproar for Yankees Red Sox being canceled. Uproar.
Yeah.
I was listening to Randy Levine on the radio today, and this is my feelings. So, of course, that owners and teams and the MLB, they have their things, and they're ultimately not agreeing to certain things. But these teams that have a lot of money, and these big teams, they want this done. They're not looking to drag this out. Big teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, they're like, you know
Boston,
what, dude?
they don't care.
We'll pay. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we don't want to give up a lot of money, but at the same time, we're willing to, when push comes to shove, we'll give you a little bit more if that's what you guys need. It's these 3 to 4 teams that are having an issue.
It's not 3 to 4, though. That's the problem. It's not 3 to 4. So, like, those big market teams, the ones that you mentioned, and there are a few others. I think the Phillies might fit into, like, a spending market, too. It's not 3 to 4, though. It makes up more than half of the league of the teams that don't want to spend. That's the problem.
Okay. When I say don't want to spend, like, I want to say that there's a handful of teams, I want to say no more than 5, who not don't want to spend, but it's not about winning at this point. It's literally, we want to make money with our business. This is our business. We don't care if our team's any good. We want to give our guys the salary floor, and that's it. We're worried about our margins. And that's not that many teams. But you only need, I think it's 8 teams you need to disagree on the vote here.
And that's what it is. They have 8.
And you're talking about now, no information. We won't ever know what teams disagree. But the Orioles.
I'll tell you right now.
The Orioles, I could bet as a team. The Diamondbacks, I bet as a team. The Marlins might be a team.
Pirates.
The Pirates
are a team.
I would even say like the Tigers might even be another team. I heard actually the Angels, which is more surprising than anything, which is outrageous that a team like the Angels or the Tigers, for that matter, don't want to spend the money. The Oakland maybe.
Athletics.
Yep.
Oakland Athletics.
And
don't want to spend.
Well, we got one more.
Yeah. And they're in the fucking Yankees division, dog.
Oh, is it the Rays?
It's the Rays, dude. You play in the fucking shithole of Tampa, and you don't want to spend money, yet your team is a playoff team. I don't understand.
So there's a few teams in that group that you're like, okay, that's ridiculous. The Detroit Tigers, you're literally in one of the largest markets in the country, in Detroit. And it's the owner of the team, it's the children of the guy who used to own the team. So it's more of a business to them at this point. The Angels should be appalled at themselves. They play in probably the second largest market in the country, in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Come on. What are you doing?
Know what it is, dude? But you know what it is? And I'll tell you why that one's like a little of an outlier, because they've spent money.
Oh, it's just not paying out.
Worked for them.
Well, they gave Pujols like $600 million or $400 million or whatever. And he was good for like 5 years.
You gave Mike Trout all this money. Has he been to the playoffs?
Well, this is the problem with baseball. You're not giving one guy money and expecting to go to the playoffs.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, you haven't built around him either. No. So it's like
they think they see Mike Trout, they see, oh, this guy's really good. The fans like him. They throw money at him, and they don't put nothing around him.
Correct. Miami's the same thing. Why do you think Jeter left?
Yeah.
They have a different interest. He wants to win. They want to make money. You're in Florida. Everyone goes to spring break in Miami. Like, that's the attraction, is Miami. I mean, I don't know about you, but like if I lived in Miami and I was a Marlins fan, like I wouldn't go.
Why would I? Unless the team was good.
Exactly. Like
overall, though, I'm looking at like.
Oh wait! I want to give you another crazy stat. I heard this today. Actually, I thought it was wild. So I don't know the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know him.
He's not your boy.
I couldn't pick him out in a line. I don't even know his name. I found it funny. He's a multi-billionaire. Okay. This man flies economy on all flights.
So he's a cheap Charlie.
Bro, if I was an owner of a team, I'd have a personal, I'd have my private jet or something to take.
That's how the rich stay rich.
This man flies economy. I fly economy. Are you fucking kidding me?
Looking and hearing this story, no surprise at all. It means he doesn't want to live lavishly, and it means he wants to keep every single piece of penny he owns to himself, and that's why he doesn't want to vote for the CBT to go up, and that's why he doesn't want to have a higher salary floor. I'm not surprised at all.
Well, okay, so then there's that piece of it. And listen, I'm not telling you how people to spend their money.
No,
like,
neither am I.
If I had money, I would probably be like, all right, like, let's invest, or like whatever. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I just kind of, it's appalling.
I thought you were rich.
You have it. I mean, I pretend when it comes to like Monopoly dollars, but also I found it funny too. And I think I might have just lost my train of thought. Oh no, I didn't. So when teams go over the luxury tax threshold, they pay back, and that money goes towards small market teams. Now, these small market teams that are getting this money, they're not investing it into the team. They're pocketing it. So you're complaining about the money, but you're getting more money. I don't see how it coexists where you're complaining about something, but you're getting something.
I mean, it's just anything to keep their bottom line in the green. Anything.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what it comes down to for those couple of teams. And there will be baseball, as I said before. But right now,
I'm going to tell you something right now. It does not look good.
I agree it doesn't look good. But so both sides feel like they're giving a lot. And when you look at the list of things that both sides have agreed to, it's pretty significant. But the issue is the other side. So let's say I'm the players and you're the owners. I feel like I've given a lot. You feel like you've given a lot. But I don't feel like you've given a lot, and you don't feel like I've given a lot. So that's the issue that we're coming down to, because all these things, minute to them or us or not, there's two things that are major issues. There's a couple of small things that they're arguing over, but two major things. And it's money. It's not rule changes. It's not like...
But that's the thing, too. That's the problem. So you talk about it's like push comes to shove, give and take type of thing. And like it's written down here. So like they all agreed to have a universal DH, 23% increase in minimum salary.
Called the DH, by the way.
Pool. What's that?
Called the DH, by the way.
What did I say?
I called the DH. Said it should be done. We both did.
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Creating a bonus pool for other players.
Yeah, so the bonus pool is like if you're not at arbitration yet. So a guy like Aaron Judge, like 2 or 3 years ago, when he was like MVP Rookie of the Year, there would be some type of bonus incentive for him for having a really good season. I don't know what the qualifiers would be for that or the amount of money would be.
Don't even get me started because he got robbed. You right now.
But that would be like he would have made extra money that year for having a really good year.
Right. So explain to me what the implementing service is, because I don't know what that is.
So implementing service time manipulation curbs. So there's no information on what exactly it is yet, but they're trying to figure out the best way to curb service time manipulation. So basically, like a guy's in the minors and you bring him up in April and May, you play him for April and May, you send him back down for June, July, August, and you play him in September. You don't have a year's worth of service at that point, so you don't start your arbitration clock yet. This way, for the next year, you come back, you're still considered a quote rookie.
You know, got it.
So
yes, and
they're trying
They're
trying to curb that because it's an issue, and they're getting an extra year out of these guys that are making minimum money, and they're trying to avoid that being an issue. A lot of the Yankees have had that. Yeah, well, that's the thing across baseball. That happened with Chris Bryant when he first came up. They played him in June and July. They sent him down. They brought him back up in September. They made the playoffs, and then they played him in the playoffs, and then they sent him down. And they brought him back up in June of the next year.
5-team draft lottery, which to stop the tanking process. I think it's great. I like that. I think that's great. And then
the players want the qualifying 6, but offer. I think that's fine. The qualifying offer. So how that works is like a certain guy, like let's say Aaron Judge walks at the end of this year, the Yankees could offer him the qualifying offer, and if he decides to sign elsewhere, they could have gotten the draft compensation out of it
for it. Right.
And you eliminate that. That means there's nothing tying. So essentially, like I can offer Aaron Judge the $17 million qualifying offer. He's a bad example because he would get offered more than that. But essentially, like a team that wants to go, hey, be like, well, we don't want to give this guy $17 million a year. Let's give him $15 million a year for 3 years, or $12 million a year for 3 years. Then the guy has to make a decision. Right. Then they have to make a decision. Do I want to take less money, or do I want? So they're getting rid of that. That's good.
So again, they agreed today. They agreed. I guess it was yesterday. They agreed that to ban the shift.
Love it.
Apparently, so the shift will be no more of a thing.
That's old school me. Says I love it.
I love it, but at the same time, like the Rays were built on that. So I'm really curious to see how they play now.
Part of me says the hitters should figure it out, but most of me says I love it.
I mean, you got guys that are hitting into the shift, and like we've seen guys like you've seen David Ortiz, you've seen a Mark Teixeira,
where they just refuse. Joey Gallo, they refuse to adjust,
refuse to go the other way. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Joey Gallo does from time to time bunt down the line.
Yeah.
But you're right, you refuse. You have to beat the shift.
So I hate. I hate that we're placating that a little bit. I do hate that kind of. But at the same time, I'm like, this is good, and it's going to be better for the game overall. It's going to bring more fans. It's going to be more offensive centric, more base hits, more doubles, and less of. It's going to be more of like
offense, more offense,
and you'll see good defense. You have to make plays on the baseball. It's not just being hit to the guy. Like we're not going to see our second baseman sitting in deep or mid right field, fielding a ground ball. Right, that's ridiculous to me. That is not defense, in my opinion.
Going forward in the next year, they are going to be implementing a pitch clock, and they will also be implementing bigger bases, which I thought was interesting. And I'll tell you what, the internet will always win. And there's a video, or not a video, there's a picture of Ricky Henderson when he broke the stolen base record.
What is it like, massive?
Bro, it was fucking 4,000 times the size of a base. It was just huge. And
can I ask you a question?
MLB said that they're going to have this because it's going to be safer for base runners and fielders to not collide into one another.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I'm listening because this one pisses me off.
Can I be real? What?
I mean,
This is a concession. We're conceding to. This has to be in the CBA that we're putting bigger bases on the field. Who gives a shit? Are people safer? Is the game not changing? It's a fucking base. Like, why are we arguing over a base, dog? Like,
that was the thing I was getting at.
Everything else, I get. I literally you're arguing over things that make sense. But like when I read that the players are conceding to getting bigger bases,
well, no,
what are you?
The players.
So the owners are conceding. So like, what are you conceding?
Because
because it's something the players want, and they want to have an issue about it. I'm going to tell
you. So if you look at the books over the years, in 2006, a baseball game lasted 2 hours and 53 minutes. If you go to the books now, last year's record average time was 3 hours and 10 minutes. So obviously the game has increased in time. They want to cut the time down, but you're only cutting the time down by we'll call it 40 minutes-ish, maybe even less, to keep the young person intrigued. But if that young person doesn't give a fuck about baseball, they don't give a fuck about baseball. They're not going to watch baseball.
You want to know how you want to know how
what does it matter?
You want to know how you keep people and fans involved and engaged in the game? Number one,
I'm listening. Please.
Number one, you ban the shift, and I think that's a good first step because 2/3 of the plays you see when the ball's hit on the ground, it's a ground out to a guy in like left or right field. So correct. I think that's great. It's a good step. The pitch clock, I don't know what they're trying to fight and get in, but if it's like 30 seconds, no, I get, but like how long? Make it like 15 seconds. Make it fast. Make the pitchers and the catchers figure it out and throw your pitches. Have your scouting reports ready for each guy and do your homework. And the faster, because what's an issue with what we see right now with At bats take too long.
Well, I'll tell you what.
In between pitches takes too long.
Which I like that they did is that you have to face a minimum of 3 batters.
I like that too.
Because
I like that too.
You were having guys, you had like the lefties specifically for
oh my
one
God.
guy,
We used to see left, right, left. I mean, you got a new pitcher every at bat in like the 8th and 9th inning. I mean, come on. So, like, what are we doing?
I like that rule more than I like this pitch clock rule. I do like that. I
15
do not
seconds.
like these bigger bases. I don't like the bigger bases. I
just like, why is it being collectively bargained?
And then the final one that they did not agree upon was the robo-umps, and that would be readdressed and reassessed and recalculated. Robotic umps were used at one point in the minor league level. I don't know what the outcome of it was.
I'm like torn about this. I'm torn about robo-umps. Like, do I want the calls to be correct? Yes, but at the same time, human element is really great as well, and like, when it goes against my team, it sucks. But when it goes for my team, it's great, kind of thing.
Right. But like,
I don't know.
They opened Pandora's box with the instant replays and like having a challenge. So you open that box, and now all of a sudden we're going to be talking about robots.
So can I ask you, what's more important to you? What's more important to you is the game staying like sacred or getting the calls right? What's more important to you?
So like, I think sacred is like it's not the word of choice that I would use. Okay. I just want the game to be played in which I remember it being brought up and watching. Like, I don't know why we need to change things. It's not like nostalgia either, but like, I don't know what I get
what you're saying. Like, you don't want everything to be like computerized and technology based, or every other calls being I get it. I totally get it. You want it to be baseball. You literally just want it to be baseball. But at the same time, I get it. You want to get the calls right. And
I get it. You had a guy. Galarraga.
Oh my
perfect game.
Angel Hernandez. Wasn't that Angel Hernandez? Oh no, that wasn't Angel Hernandez. That wasn't him though. No, it was somebody else at first.
But Angel Hernandez did blow a no-hitter once too.
I mean, listen. This is the same thing I said about referees and in basketball, baseball, football. It doesn't matter what sport you are.
That's a different. It's a whole.
We need more situations where people are being held accountable. And if you're not being held accountable, then you need to be fined or suspended or lose time.
You saw it in the NFL this year in the playoffs.
It was all year.
The Bengals Vegas Raider game. That referee crew was not allowed to do any more playoff games of the atrocity that they pulled. Bad calls, missed whistles, nonsense, and they were penalized for it. I mean, also baseball has it too, where like you're voted as an umpire and you get a ranking, and like those are the guys that do the playoffs and stuff. Like, you're not gonna. I don't think Joe West, or Angel Hernandez did playoff games
altogether. Like, is that like where you vote for like not maybe the best guy at the best job, but like the guy who's been doing it the longest, who you have the most respect for? Like,
no, you do the guy that has the best job.
Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. But like, we all know how these fraternal situations work, where everybody's like buddies, like, I'm gonna vote for this guy because he's been doing it the longest and he knows what he's doing. He's got the experience X, Y, Z. Or do I vote for this guy because he's?
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you're old and you have the experience and you're good, you get the best of both worlds, and we saw that in the NFL. Like, if you're the best of both worlds, like an Ed Hockley, Ed Hockley, he's old man. He had these jacked up.
He's yoked.
And then there was a couple other guys
his son
too.
Reps now, Sean Hockley.
There was the
Jerome
black
Boger
man with the glasses.
Oh no!
And then the skinny guy, the skinny black guy with the mustache. I just remember like the head referees, like that would always be calling the calls. And like those guys were good.
Yeah.
Those were good guys. And like you just know them, but like you also know referees and umpires that are not so good.
Listen, I mean, it's the case with every profession. There's going to be guys who are excellent, and there's going to be guys who are just not as good. And I just and there's nothing wrong with having guys who are not as good as everybody. Like, there's no way you're going to have a full slate of A+ referee. It's impossible, and I get that. But at the same time, there needs to be like some type of responsibility or courses or actions or something. I mean, we just need more than like, they're just not as good and we move on. Like, no, that can't be it.
bottom line, I'd say something right now. They're fucking fighting over like pennies right now when it comes to this bases and nonsense. When they need to be talking about money,
the issue is in the money. The CBT and the bonus pool. So the excuse me, the owners are agreeing to this bonus pool thing for these pre-arbitration players. They're like, we'll give you $30 million extra, and the players are like, no, we want $80 million extra. So that's a huge amount of money that they're arguing over.
But there was also to say, that the players want something, the owners want something, and in other categories, you have to make or break in some other category. You have to give and take. So if the players want X amount of money in this category, then they have to give up X amount of money in another category. It has to go both ways. As of right now, like
neither side is budging on the money at all. That's the problem. They have their lines, and they're not budging.
No meetings scheduled, so we're just gonna sit here. Games will get canceled left and right, and see you in May, Matt. That's it.
See you mid-May. That's my line. I'm sticking to it.
Let's slide over to the hardwood.
Speaking of mid-May, I mean that's a good parlay into like when the playoffs start. Playoff races heating up in the NBA.
It is. And you can hit this, and then we'll talk teams and stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. So right now in the East, I didn't look at the West because the West you have your top like 2 or 3 teams, and I don't think anybody else is really going to make any noise. But the East right now, you're looking at the 76ers, the Bucks, the Bulls, and the Celtics. Those are seeds 2 through 5. The Heat are the top. They're like 4 games above everybody else, 3 games above.
How many teams make the playoffs in NBA?
The top 10 in each conference make the the playoffs. Okay. 8 through 10. Or I'm sorry. 8, 9, 10. No. 7, 8, 9, and 10.
7, 8, 9, 10 are playing.
Are in the play-in. Right? Yeah. Sorry, I had to figure that out. That was.
I got you. No, you're good.
My brain hurt.
That was good.
Right now, seeds 2 through 5 in the East are only separated by at most a game and a half. So the Sixers and the Bucks are virtually tied. The Bulls are a half a game behind the 2 of them, and the Celtics are a game behind the Bulls. So,
wow,
they're very tight 2 through 5. I think any of those teams could make a run at the conference finals. The Nets are sitting at 9th now, or 10th even. I think they're like in the last spot before the playing game. They've lost their last
9. They're 32 and 33.
So they're under 500. They're under 500 for the first time this year. They played the Celtics yesterday. That game was hot. I watched the whole thing. Jason Tatum went off. He had 54 against the Nets. KD played really, really well. He only had 37. I say only as if 37 is not a lot, but Tatum put the Celtics on his back, as he's gonna have to do if they're gonna want to win. I don't think the team's deep enough to win unless Tatum has that kind of a game against a team like the Nets. They only won by 6, and Tatum had 54. So
yeah, and he broke Larry Bird's record or some shit, or tied Larry Bird's record. He's tied with
Larry Bird for the most 50-point games in Celtics history. The kid's like 24. That's nuts, by the way.
Wild, absolutely wild. So really quick before you go there, we'll talk about standings. In the West, it's kind of like a landslide. So like the Suns are obviously the number 1. Suns are number 1. But the Warriors, Grizzlies are a game back and forth. They're a game back and forth from one another. The Jazz are 4 back. Mavericks are 1 back of the Jazz. Nuggets are 1 back of the Mavericks.
Nuggets dark horse, by the way.
Nuggets, I think, are going to make some noise. Yeah, I think they're going to make some noise.
Jamal Murray's coming back soon from his torn ACL.
And then 7, 8, 9, and 10, you have Timberwolves, Clippers, Lakers, Pelicans.
I'm doubling down. The Lakers not making the playoffs. The only way the Lakers make the playoffs. I'll tell you this right now. If LeBron, he's not going to drop 50 every night. That's impossible.
Well, they're going to make the play-in. No?
They're at 9 right now.
Yeah, they're at 9 right now.
So I was wrong about the Spurs. They've lost their last 4. I did say last week that the Spurs were going to make a run. They're not going to do that. No. But
Trailblazers are the only team.
The Blazers are 11th, and they're only a game or 2 games out from behind the Lakers.
2 games out. 3 games behind the Lakers, 2 behind the Pels.
LeBron's got to score 30 plus every game.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Westbrook needs to come off the bench, and neither of that is more than likely.
LeBron can score 30 to 35 a game, but what's that going to do for them if they make the play-in? They're just going to get beaten in the play-in or the first round because LeBron is going to be tired and exhausted.
Yeah,
So
no,
we'll
I agree
see.
with you.
I'm gonna say the
It's a
Lakers still
3-game
don't make the
set too,
playoffs.
right? 3-game set.
No, play-in's one game.
Is it one game?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a 3-game set.
Ben Simmons, by the way, is not likely to play Thursday. They said his back is
No.
still a little sore.
Yeah, but he'll be in the building
He'll
apparently
be in the building against
in Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah,
That'll be interesting. He'll probably get booed because, of
course
course,
he
he
will.
will. Just
Of
like
course he will.
if the Sixers were coming to Barclays, James Harden would get booed.
I mean, listen, Kyrie got booed in Boston the entire game.
He said, "I won't be surprised if I get booed for the rest of my life in Boston."
Booed.
I mean, not for nothing, and I'm glad he's on my team, but he deserves to get booed in Boston. He told them he was coming back, and he didn't come back.
Yeah,
He made promises and all this other stuff, and he didn't. I mean, he deserves it in Boston.
Yeah.
He did him dirty, but it is
agree.
what it is. I'm gonna let you speak a little bit, but I just want to say that the Knicks they did win yesterday, but they keep losing these after they have like these big 10+ point leads, and
yeah,
I'm like,
they don't have a closer. They don't have a closer. They don't have a point guard.
You know what? What are you winning for?
Lose.
Just lose.
Yeah,
Play
they're
your
12th
young
right
guys.
now. They're 26 and 38. You lose, and you gain more draft capital as far as lottery capital, I should say.
Yeah, I
get a lottery
just
pick.
Lose.
Like, listen, you're preaching to the choir. You're not wrong, but it's also funny because I've said it. Our boy Eddie has said it, and many other people in the Twitter world have said it. Play the fucking young kids. They played.
So what happened yesterday?
Young kids, bro. 12-minute stretch. Played all the young kids. They blew them the fuck out. They blew the Clippers out.
Clippers, in my opinion. So I don't think the Knicks are that good, obviously, but the Clippers are not that good, in my opinion. They're not.
But the Clippers beat the Lakers the other day, and the Lakers are not that good. But the Clippers were manhandling the Lakers. They were manhandling the Lakers, though. And they have LeBron James, who is arguably one of the best basketball players in the league. So
still at 37, by the way.
I mean, listen. When you have everybody clicking, right, and you finally play the man in which you traded for, Cam Reddish, who dropped 17 off the bench, Emmanuel Quickley dropped 21 off the bench. It blows my mind that you still drag out Alec Burks to play point guard consecutively over and over again. And like, he had 15 yesterday, and he's going to get his, but he can't handle the basketball. He can't.
He's never been a point guard.
Fournier was supposed to be the 3-point shooter, the dominator. Man had 7 points and started. I think it's time for you to sit down, relax, retire maybe, and let Cam do his thing.
So here's like, and I never understood this. I've never understood this as a person looking on the outside, and maybe it's different if it was my money, but there's this thing where these owners and these coaches and these GMs, they give these guys these contracts, and then they can't not play them because they gave them all this money. Well, here's the thing. If you're not producing for the amount of money that I've given you, then you're on the bench. I don't care that I've spent money on you. I want my team to be competitive.
Exactly.
Like if you being on the court doesn't lead to me being my most competitive, well, then I'm going to find somebody who will be my most competitive.
Right.
I mean, again, it's not my money, so it's hard for me to sit there and say like I get it. But I'm putting the guys in who give me the best chance to win. I don't care how much money I've spent. That's just me.
And you know what? And you're starting to see like the big men. Like, I know Mitchell Robinson wants to get paid. He just thinks that he deserves to get paid. But
I mean, Mitchell Robinson's the top 5 defensive center in the league, rebounding.
But you have Jericho Sims too, another young kid who wants to play and is taller than him, and he's got a lot of growing to do. Don't get me wrong, but
if I'm the Knicks, I let Mitchell Robinson walk. I mean,
I think so too. I think
he's a restricted free agent, I believe. You let him sign his offer sheet, let him go. Don't match, because for what? You are not at a point where you can take Mitchell Robinson's contract and match it for you to be hamstrung by his salary for the next 4 years.
So think about this real quick.
He's not your star player.
No, if you could, and like if you kept Mitch and signed Mitch, whatever, but RJ Barrett, we'll say Mitchell Robinson, Emmanuel Quickley, Cam Reddish, Jericho Sims, Miles McBride. 6 kids on this basketball team. 6. Now, if you traded Julius Randle to a team and you got draft picks, again, youth talent, young talent. I don't know how long we signed Evan Fournier for. I don't know what the deal is with Alec Burks.
Fournier was only a 2-year contract, and I think Burks was only a 1-year deal, if I remember correctly, from the offseason.
Peace the fuck out. Adios. See you later. You can trade Fournier if he's on a 1-year deal, maybe at next year's trade deadline to a contender if the Knicks are not contending. And you also have the Derrick Rose situation where I know he's not playing the rest of this year, but I don't know what the deal is for next year. I think that they're trending in the right direction as a fan. I think as an organization, I still think it is an absolute atrocity and shit show. And I still think that there's a lot of work that still needs to be done to get to where we as fans would thoroughly enjoy going to Madison Square Garden instead of it being what's like a museum and random people going to watch games.
I think the Knicks have a lot of interest. So all those guys you rattled off, and I don't want to, I'm not being like a hater or whatever, but right out of that group, in terms of like, quote, building blocks, RJ Barrett is the, quote, only building block I see. Those other guys are great, and I think they'll be great pieces in a rotation set, and they could even be starting material. I think that the Knicks have to hit a home run in the draft this year. And if they hit a home run in the draft, now the draft is not very deep this year. It's really not. But if they get a good pick in the draft, free agency, I'm not sure what Kyrie Irving could be a free agent. That could be interesting.
But again, he's still playing in New York and non-vaccinated. And if we still have these rules, what makes him
I think that'll be gone for next year. It should be gone within the next couple of weeks, if you ask my opinion. But
I think so.
That's neither here nor there. The Knicks are in a bad spot for this year, but they're not in a terrible spot moving forward. They're really not. They have to continue to play these young guys, and don't be afraid to lose. I know Tom Thibodeau's like, I don't want to lose in the back of his head because he's like, if I lose, then I'm going to get fired. I get that, but like,
what pick would the Knicks have? Would the Knicks have a top 10 pick
right now?
Right now, yeah.
If they're 12th, they would. I mean, depending on where the other teams in the West are, they should be. They might even be close to the top 5 if the teams in the West have better records.
It would be so wild to draft AJ Griffin as a forward to come play for the Knicks, and you trade away Julius Randle. AJ Griffin, New York homeboy, went to school in Westchester, and to come play with his other Duke brothers. Like, I mean, you're going to build a Duke team. Yeah, okay, whatever. But like, that kid's a baller. And you say RJ Barrett is like the guy to build around. Yes, absolutely. But I still think that Cam Reddish has a lot.
I think Cam Reddish
and a
can
lot
be
to
great.
Prove.
I do.
Yeah.
I think he could.
He balled.
Right now, if there was no lottery, in the NBA, the Knicks would have the 9th pick in the draft. The West, the bottom half of the West is actually a lot worse than you.
So he's projected to go between like a late, he's projected to go in like the top 10. Now I don't know where he would go, but that would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
I
think that would be cool. I agree.
I mean, we're not really going to touch NFL because like there's no
I just have
need for any of that.
Just the one piece.
We kind of opened up with the NFL. We kind of opened up.
We did. So nobody cares about the combine, right? At least I don't. Some of these people don't even care. Like these people,
who cares?
The Rams literally were like, we're going virtual for the combine. So like, and they just won a Super Bowl. So that just goes to show how much they care about the combine.
They don't give a shit.
I just thought it was really crazy how this kid Jordan Davis from Georgia, who is a 341-pound defensive tackle, ran a 4.78 40-yard dash. So just that's an insane number. 4.78 40-yard dash. That's like wide receiver speed. Yeah, like average wide receiver speed, not like a fast guy, but like, a guy like Larry Fitzgerald who was never like a burner. I bet you, if you, matter of fact, I'm gonna.
Well, they also botched over the weekend too. While you're looking it up, they botched the thing. They said a kid ran a 4.3, and then ended up being like a 4.5 something. No, it was not right. It ended up being like a 4.5 something.
So, just so you know, I'm gonna read you 2 40-yard dash times.
I'm listening.
I'll read you 4.
Tyreek the Freak is
4.63, 4.71, 4.35, and 4.78.
Wow.
One of those 4 is a defensive tackle. The other 3 are Hall of Fame wide receivers.
Wow.
4.78 is Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. Yeah, that's insane.
Now, Calvin Johnson was the 4.35. That's really fast.
That is fast. I wonder how fast Metcalf and Tyreek are. I wonder if that's
Larry Fitzgerald and Jerry Rice, 4.63 and 4.71. Two of the best wide receivers of all time ran barely faster than this defensive tackle.
That's insane.
This kid is a beast.
Yeah.
Monster. And he's huge. He's huge. So 340, he has the fastest time of a 310 plus player. But like, he's not 310. He's 340.
340. I would like him
heavier.
On my team.
No shit. That's nuts.
That's
I'm looking up DK Metcalf's number now that you at me.
Yeah, I mean he ran track. He did the
4.33. So he was even faster than Calvin Johnson.
Yeah. And then Tyreek
Hill. 4.29. Which of course makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's low to the ground, whatever. Now I also see you have on here, and like we can just mention it, like
brief touch.
And, like there's a lot of news going on, and I'm interested to see how it goes on. But like Aaron Rodgers, he was offered a contract. From the Packers.
So there's no details on it from the Packers, but he was offered a contract restructure, and the quote was, it could quote alter the QB market. Now, Patrick Mahomes about 2 years ago signed a 10-year, $500 million contract. So I'm really interested to see, that's $50 million a year if you average it out, right? He's not getting that per year now, but it broken down, that's the average. So I'm really curious to see what kind of money Aaron Rodgers is getting. Is it more money overall? There's no way it's more money overall, right? He's not going to make more than $500 million in his next contract. How could he make that much money? He's 37.
Like out the door. Yeah, he's like out the door.
So is it going to be more than $50 million a year?
It might be more than $50 million a year. It might be like 65, 60.
What?
I really think.
I mean, listen, the Packers don't have much of an option at this point, right? You have to keep your guy. So you
can sign him for what would it be, like
2 years at $120? 3 years at $180? What?
I could see that. I could see that.
What? I could see fully guaranteed. Could you imagine?
I could see that.
$60 million a year? What does the cap hit look like on that?
So here's the thing. They don't care. Okay, they want him to stay. They don't want him to leave. And if he leaves, then they're in scramble hell. They have to figure out how to trade him to somebody else. And
they don't have a choice. You're right. They really don't have a choice. They don't.
They're handcuffed. He controls this, which is the craziest thing.
That's an absurd amount of money. Absurd.
I mean, listen, dude, you're telling me right now in 3 years I'm making $180 million. You could sign me up and in my sleep.
You can do a lot of things to me for $180 million. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm ready.
Where's Amari Cooper going? If he's released,
I think if he gets released.
So, by the way, what the hell are the Cowboys doing if this is true?
I don't know.
You signed Zeke to a $90 million contract only to let your best wide receiver go in 10 years?
But they also signed Marcus Mariota, and it was quoted to say that they're going to have a QB duel. Like, Marcus Mariota is not a starting quarterback. And
not over Dak Prescott.
Nah,
I mean, come on.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Dallas
what are we doing in Dallas, man?
Dallas is a hot mess. I think Amari Cooper may go play for San Francisco. I don't know. I mean,
go to the Packers?
I don't know. I mean, if that was the case, then
you want to talk about one of the scariest combos in the NFL, Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams
with the run game too. I mean, that would be silly if he left at that point. That would be silly. I think though, Amari Cooper's pretty boy. He wants to go warm in the California area.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I don't know.
Maybe the Rams.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm kidding.
Are they paying?
I'm kidding. They don't have the money to pay anybody. They can barely bring their own guys back.
Nothing, dude. Nothing. Von Miller though said that he wanted to come back, and he said that
he was teasing a Broncos return today.
Oh, was he?
So he's definitely playing the game. He's playing the free agency game. I still believe he's back with the Rams next year. The Broncos. So the only way I see him going to the Broncos if Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Broncos. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
So if Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Broncos, I could see Von Miller going back, but I don't think
Right.
he's going to go anywhere if he's got the choice between
That's
that
true.
and the Rams. But listen,
Yeah,
if we ever get the chance to talk about the NFL free agency, we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I mean,
no, listen, I'm not. I keep putting it on the list because I don't want to. Every week, I want to keep remembering it for the following week.
Yeah,
I know we're
I
not
think
gonna.
it needs to stay.
We'll probably get there
touch
in
on
like
the
the
top
next 2
stuff.
weeks, 3 weeks.
The combine stuff goes away. The highlight stuff goes away, and then like you just focus on like the free agent stuff for sure. I mean, we've been talking basketball, and like that's like the sport of what's going on right now.
It's all good.
It's just a hot mess. So
it's all good.
So episode 7, dude.
In the books, dude. In the books.
Yep. Stamp it.
I mean,
mark it.
I could. I'm gonna have the music quietly start.
And just be like, that's it. Let them know. We need to get like a fucking like. Need to get like some sort of like. Whatever. I don't even know how you want to do it, but it would just be like a stamp like on the screen or something.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean,
pretty dope.
I gotta learn how to do that.
The stamp would be like, it could be like even like a branding. You could just like
the podcast logo.
Like, the greatest sports talk podcast, and it's like flaming and like singeing and stuff.
And that's like the Stinger transition into like. I need to. All right, graphic designers, artist, not one of those fake ones on Instagram. I need one of the real ones.
I know.
I need a stinger. I need a stinger that has like a stamp, and it goes like on my screen like this, and it's like like that.
That's it.
I just want to be great.
That's it. I just want to be great. Let them know.
We are.
Listen, man, it's been fun.
It's always
been
fun.
Hella fun.
It's always fun.
It's been hella fun. We are way overdue for my departure and for your Warzone play.
Yes, sir.
So I will be in touch. Stay safe. Take care. Brush your hair.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Dude, I love that guy.
He's great, man.
So it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
He's
basically
awesome.
Basically everything he eats is a salad. Just so
listen, you put a couple of parsley flakes is basically a salad. It's a couple of greens.
Seeds.
Basically a salad.
I can't do a little DC, a little Diet Coke for everybody.
DC colder than your sister's hot on the day of her divorce.
Oh my god, dude, I'm done. I love it.
All right, brother.
I'm out. Chat, enjoy yourself.
Later, homie.
Maddie, I'll catch you later.